Before we begin, a quick heads up.
Before we begin, I want to give you a quick heads up about how I appreciate both content creators I'm about to talk about. From the title, you know I'm talking about the Tiny Meat Gang. The reason I'm talking about them as a group and not individually is because I think they offer a lot of uniqueness to the platform combined. Obviously, I think Noel Miller and Cody Ko separately are absolutely amazing. You can go back to previous videos where I talk up Cody Ko and defend him during controversies, but I think the Tiny Meat Gang offers something to the commentary community, the community of comedy, and of course, just shows how great friendship can be. Aww. So, without further ado, welcome back to the quest for the greatest YouTuber ever. Oh, I kind of messed up my elbow there. I've been a fan of Cody Ko for quite some time. I even listened to his Insanely Chill podcast, and like many, I thoroughly enjoyed his episodes with Noel Miller. I then found out that they are hosting the Tiny Meat Gang, and I now have to drive 3 hours a day for work. I work as a radio host, and it's funny, I work as a radio host, and they crap on radio hosts all the time, and I'm always like, yeah, they're not wrong. But while I do that drive, I like to listen to podcasts. And one of my favorite ones to listen to, besides the Dead Meat podcast, which we talked about last week, is the Tiny Meat Gang podcast. They really do offer something unique in the sense of they have bits and sketches, but for the most part, it's just two genuine friends talking. And it's hard to get that genuine conversation going without it feeling staged or fake. And it's something where most podcasts, if you go and watch it, they really do have segments or they have a direct theme. The podcast that's the Tiny Meat Gang mostly just focuses on what's going on. That's just a chat between two people giving their personal opinion. And like I said, I really like Cody Ko and Noel Miller in their own way. I'm just going to call them Cody and Noel at this point, but I like them both in the sense of if I went to a party, I'd look at Cody and be like, frat guy, but friendly frat guy. I'll talk to him once I'm intoxicated. Compared to Noel, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll go sit with him. He seems pretty cool. And then after we talk a little bit, he'd realize I know nothing about cars and I'm completely useless. But he'd still be nice and talk to me nicely. They both seem like such genuine, nice guys who care. They're the type of person where it's like, if you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you. And it shows in the podcast when they have genuine conversations with each other that they're real, kind, genuine human beings that you can enjoy listening to. And that's why they're seeing such success with the Tiny Meat Gang. Obviously, I've been only focusing on the podcast without diving into much larger parts of the Tiny Meat Gang that really separate them from other podcasts. Other podcasts out there are amazing. I listen to some great ones, but what sets the Tiny Meat Gang apart is the music and the other videos that they do as well. The music that they make as the Tiny Meat Gang is an amazing combination of comedy while also being serious. They have talked frequently about how sometimes people are like, oh, are you guys going to try to be real rappers and not make it comedic anymore? And the whole thing is they have the skill to do whichever one they want. As comedians, they make genuine, good songs that have comedic value, but they also offer great songs that don't need to be comedic, because most songs that are comedic, it's making up for the lack of content musically. But they can offer it both ways. They both are genuinely talented in that aspect, meaning they thrive whether it's comedic or serious. And you see that with how large the fan base is. There's people who only know the Tiny Meat Gang as a musical group, which really goes to show how impressive they are. And finally, just talking about the dynamic of the Tiny Meat Gang goes to the core friendship. That's cringe. That's a huge way many people found who Cody Ko was and then also learned who Noel Miller was. That's how Cody and Noel, you saw their true friendship. Them just making comments on these YouTube videos. People fell in love with that, including myself. And it goes to show there's some commentary channels that just go way too far. They're like, the only way we can be funny is if we just ruin this person. Noel and Cody draw this beautiful line of, it's just funny enough, but they know when to draw the line. They won't rip into someone more than it needs to be. They offer just enough comedic value where it's like, it almost sometimes feel like you're laughing with the person. Yes, you're laughing at the person, but it's not like mean. It's fun, not mean fun. And I've never had fun with mean fun. Because it just seems distasteful. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And you never have that with the Tiny Meat Gang. The Tiny Meat Gang doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth. Jake Trumpert, 2020. At the end of the day, the reason I'm putting them back to back with the other group I was talking about, Dead Meat Podcast, is, well, they both have the word meat in it, which that's kind of funny. And because those are two podcasts that truly stand out. The Dead Meat, you see a great connection between a man and a lady who are engaged, and it shows how like in love they are, and it's something beautiful to see as they talk about horror. This, on the other hand, is you see two friends who have a genuine friendship with each other, who genuinely care about each other, and can make content together that we also find interesting. They're also great at taking criticism. Recently, they say like a lot in their podcast. Someone made a video about it. Instead of just ignoring it or bashing the guy, they bring the guy onto the show and just talk with him and have fun and welcome him. That, oh my gosh, that's big dick energy, Tiny Meat Gang, and it's impressive, and it's cool as hell, and it's beautiful. It's so cool how welcoming they are to criticism, and that's another reason they're dope. Just wanted to throw that one in there real quick. All right, now I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you lots. Till next time.